All right. Okay, so it is in April, and many of us are entering our fourth quarter of teaching or final trimester, depending what your district does. And so something that I think is really important for us to think about is we are getting students ready for the big game, like for independence, for summer, where they need to continue the high amounts of volume in reading and writing in order to not in order to prevent that summer slide. So when you read some of Richard Ellington's work, he talks about kids who keep their reading levels and writing levels up in the summer, and how sometimes not only do they not slide back, but they also make great gains. And so we want to start setting that tone in our buildings and in our districts that we're doing this work together fourth quarter so that students do continue reading and writing and loving that. And so I'm going to jump into, this is going to be just a few part series. I'm going to add to it as I do some more thinking and some more research, but right now it's going to be 3 videos. So maybe by the time you see this video, it might be more, but right now it's just 3. So I want to talk to you really quickly about setting students up for the big game. Summer. I'm calling summer the big game. So you practice, practice, practice at school, and we practice all year long. And then just like you go to soccer practice and you practice, practice, practice drills and skills over and over and over. And then you get into the game and you're independent and you have to take all of that and do that on your own. We're doing the same thing with our students as readers and writers. And you could say scientists and mathematicians and social scientists as well. I'm just talking today, reading and writing. So we have a big goal, and a big goal for this work is helping keep our students reading and writing all summer long. So really the time right now that we're spending fourth quarter is the final push for students to transfer what we've been teaching them and to be independent in that. And so there's some things that I'm going to talk about in other videos as we go through this, but something that I want you to do is I want you to spend time creating an urgency in the work that they're doing in the classroom and an urgency in the work that they've been doing in reading and writing throughout the school year. Something that can do that, help with that, is connecting what you're doing to real world. And something else that helps with that is you modeling that. So you showing students, like physically showing them your plan that you have of the books that you're going to read fourth quarter, like independently or in a month. And I personally like to use Padlet. So I always have pictures of all the books that I'm reading on Padlet, or that I finished reading on Padlet, so people can see high amounts of volume of all the books that I'm consuming. And that's important for you to do too. And I know that's not something that everyone feels super comfortable with, but you need to get comfortable with it. And you need to start calling your shot and making it public. So you need to make public, and I'll do this right now. I'm going to read 30 books in the month of April 2021. 1 book a day. And that's going to be, I'm going to have a professional book, I'm going to have a personal book, and I'm going to have a variety of level of children's books. So picture books, lower level chapter books, intermediate chapter books, middle school and high school books, and that. So I'm calling my shot today. I am going to read 30 books in the month of April. And then even showing that to the kids, what your plan is. Okay. Another thing is in writing, you need to be doing the same thing. You need to be showing them the amount of writing that you're doing, the writerly life that you're living. If you are not doing it, guys, you might be the only model of a writer that child has in their life. So you need to be doing it. So one thing that I can say that I do every single day as a writer is I journal every single day. Like it's a non-negotiable for me. That happens first thing every single morning. I write lists. I write out my plan for my food, my workouts, my week, like what am I going to accomplish? So that's another form of writing. Make public your pieces, make public your writing or what you're writing about. You may not want to share the actual piece, but show them that you're writing and that this is something that people in the real world do. And it's a important skill to have. And then I would say really create a passion right now if you haven't done that, which I hope you have, but a passion around being a reader and writer and develop a love of reading and writing. Something that you can do that I didn't necessarily wasn't going to put in this video series is spend time doing some identity work. And then if you have a reluctant reader, look at their identity web that they've created about who they are and what they do and what their passions are and maybe traditions and their family, and create a book stack just for them. Like, I was thinking about you as I saw all of these books and I created this book stack for you. And like, think of how like special that would be if you were a reluctant reader or somebody who didn't know that you loved reading. Also, find series books, lots and lots of series books. And right now be introducing those series books to your students. Introduce or read book 1 of the series and then say there's a whole slew of other books that you can read, and make recommendations like if you like this series book, you need to move into this series book too. There is research that says that if you're a series book reader when you're young, you're a lifelong reader. So teachers, be pushing those series books. Looking at that identity web again, explain to students like how they can use their identity web and how they can create, just using that web, opinion, argument, narrative, and informational pieces just from who they are and what they know. They don't even have to do any more research, but just keep writing. So I hope in this short little video, you understand the urgency of the work that you're doing right now. It's really more imperative than ever. So big goal, keep students reading and writing. And we want to do it all summer long. You're doing that final push for transference and independence. You're going to create an urgency and a love for the work, connecting it to the real world and showing them that you are a reader and writer. I'm going to have a couple more videos for sure on setting big goals with your students. That's going to be really important for you to do, and setting big goals for the summer for them. And then I also have one called Help, I'm Stuck. So like, what are they going to do when they're stuck and you're not there to help them every single day? So we're going to give you some tips, or I'm going to give you some tips on things that you can teach students so that they know exactly what to do when they're on their own in the big game and they can keep that reading and writing life going. Off you go.